this teacher feature, I'm interviewing James Brown. He is a biology teacher, sciences biology at Snow Canyon High School in St. George, Utah. And I've had the privilege to know James for pretty much my entire teaching career, with the exception of the first 6 years. James started to teach. He did his student teaching at Snow Canyon High School in 1996 and became a classroom teacher in 1997. One of the reasons I asked James to be in this teacher feature is he also, in addition to being a science teacher and biology teacher, he was the head basketball coach for several years at Snow Canyon High School. But James, welcome. And
Thank you.
so grateful to have you here. I've got these teachers that are in this e-text that I've admired throughout my career, and you're one of my good friends and just a wonderful example of students of what they could be if they choose to be a teacher. But let's start by asking you, so why did you become a teacher and then a coach?
Well, when I was going through university and finishing up my biology degree, I was playing football at the university as well. And I needed another half a year to finish up. And so when I finished my biology degree, I started doing some coaching up there at the university, football. And I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And so I had to make a decision with finishing my biology, whether I was going to go to med school, like I thought about being an orthopedic surgeon, or teaching and coaching. And I was really just struggling, trying to figure out which way to go. I love athletics, and there's some great coaches in my life that have really, really affected me as an individual. And so I was driving down the road, and a radio announcement came on and says, if you really want to affect others' lives, become a teacher. And so, sorry, that's what did it for me. Because I really felt like I could give back and return the favor that many men have done for me and women.
Awesome. I know, for how many years were you the head basketball coach?
For 15 years. Yeah. And I coached football and track for 20 plus years, as well as basketball. So I've been around a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. So what do you think makes you, I know what makes you a good teacher, but what in your mind, what do you think makes you a good teacher?
I think probably the biggest quality is adaptability. There's just things that are going to happen during the day. There's lessons that you're going to think are great and they're not. There's going to be kids that interrupt and disruptive and kind of take off your game a little bit. And the ability to bring it back around, adapt to everything that's going on, and still get the kids to a high level of learning. And so I really think as a teacher, you've got to be adaptable.
Adaptable. Okay. And what do you believe, and you've kind of already mentioned this, but what is your favorite part of being a teacher?
One, when you see the light bulb go on, like it is great to watch kids and then all of a sudden just see that, oh, and you're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. But I've had a great opportunity because I've been teaching for 27 years, to have many kids come back and say thank you. And that's probably the most gratifying, is that you've known you made a difference in somebody's life.
I agree. On a daily basis, I don't know that a day doesn't go by that I don't bump into one of my former students, and there's 99.9% of it. I don't think I've ever had a negative interaction, but there's nothing that can replace that that interaction that you have with the students and knowing that you had a part in their life.
Yeah, just seeing them progress and advance is the icing.
Absolutely. So the last question here, and I'll let you go here, but I appreciate you doing this more than you'd ever know. But I knowing what you know now, this is a question that I've often thought about. Knowing what I know now, I mean, you've been in teaching almost nearly as long as I have, but what would you do differently if you could go back, maybe make some adjustments and change some things? What would they be?
I probably think the biggest thing when I started teaching and you started teaching, it's like you stayed in your room, you developed your lesson plans, and you weren't going to share those with anybody because you put a lot of work into them. I think the way things are now, I would have begged, borrowed, and stole everything I could from anybody I could. Because there are a lot of people out there with some great ideas and great lessons and just practices that maybe you aren't familiar with. And so the way they're doing things now with the PLCs in those professional learning communities, I would say jump in with both feet, get involved and contribute, but as well as just take as much as you can. It's nice when others can give you something that you can be effective with in your classroom and you didn't even think about it.
I agree. I really believe that just having seen even the advent of the internet in my teaching career, and it was just getting started when you began teaching, the tools that are available to us through technology and even with our neighbors that are right next door in the classroom next door or in the school district or in the state or in the nation. This what we have access to in our teaching toolbox has never been as it is now. We have more ability to be better because of our tools, and I couldn't agree more. I know that has been a huge pendulum swing in teaching, that embracing that collaboration, and I think that's a wonderful thing that would make a lot of teachers better. And if they could go back and start over, that if we would have collaborated more in the beginning, we would be better. And you're always better when you can use what's out there and make your job more efficient.
I agree totally. And there's just a lot of great people around you.
There are, and that's one of the things that I think I tell my wife at least once or twice a week, that I have the best job in the world, and I've got there's not greater people that I could possibly imagine knowing and having taught with over the years. But I want to thank you, James, for this opportunity to interview you for this e-text. And
absolutely, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you. You're a good example to me, Dr. Bartholomew, and I appreciate your friendship and anything I can do to help out.